All right, everybody, welcome. It is Christmas time here, and a challenge has been going around on YouTube, and I've been challenged by the Scott Gold experience. So he challenged me on the 15 questions of Christmas. So today, let's just jump right in and let's take a look at some of these questions and let's see what kind of answers I come up with. So the first one is, what is your favorite holiday scent? Well, for me, the first thing that comes to mind is pine trees and like Christmas trees. That really is the first thing I think about when I think of Christmas and what it smells like and that type of stuff. A close second would probably be some cinnamon type things, but the very best one that I can think of would be for Christmas trees, pine trees, like that would be my favorites holiday scents. Holiday beverage is the next one. What is my favorite holiday beverage? And for me, that would be eggnog. Growing up, my parents never really liked eggnog. It was nothing that we never normally had in the house that much. But as I've gotten older and stuff, I associate eggnog now more with Christmas. I don't like it with alcohol in it or anything like that. I just like eggnog. And, when you're out there on a cold winter night and you come in and you just have some eggnog, it just really says to me Christmas. So that's what I like. I like eggnog for Christmas. Number 3, what song gets you into the holiday spirit? Wow, that's a loaded question. There are so many songs out there that can immediately put me into the holiday spirit. If I had to think of the one that probably does it the most, is probably White Christmas by Bing Crosby. That one is just a classic that's out there, and just dreaming of a white Christmas is something that always makes me think of immediately putting me in that Christmas spirit. But there's so many other ones. I mean, you've got the classics that are out there that you have Frosty the Snowman and Jingle Bells and Nat King Cole singing Yuletide, coming to the Jack Frost nipping at your nose. And then you've got the Christmas carols that are there, that's Joy to the World, Deck the Halls. So there's just so many out there. But probably the most one for me to begin with is probably White Christmas. Number 4, as a kid, did a sibling get a gift that you wish you had got? Well, I don't recall my siblings ever getting anything that I wish that I had gotten. My siblings were quite a bit older than me. My brother was 8 years older. My sister was 12 years older than me. So I don't recall them ever getting something. When I got to be a little bit older, they were grown up and things. So I pretty much got what I wanted for Christmas at times. I was always sort of like an only child then at that point, because I got pretty much everything. I was the youngest one and I was spoiled there to that. So that was pretty cool. So I can't recall anything that they got that I didn't get at any point. Number 5. What is your favorite thing about Christmas? Wow, there is a lot of things about Christmas that is favorite. I mean, family is just one of those things. I mean, I get to spend, time with visiting my family that I don't always get to see a lot of times. So this is a time of year that we would always get together, all of us. Christmas Eve has always been a special time because I can go down to my family's. It's a little over an hour away from me, and we all sort of come together. And I cook on Christmas Eve, so I'm the one that does a lot of the cooking. Then I make a prime rib and Yorkshire pudding, and we just have a great time together with that. Thinking back to Christmases past, what was some of my favorite things? My mom and I would go to Christmas Eve service. A lot of times my whole family would go to Christmas Eve, but I remember the ones when we would go like to a midnight Christmas Eve service, and singing Silent Night right at midnight was probably one of the greatest things that I think back about, what it was like to do that and hear the music playing and just ringing in Christmas right at midnight was really one of my favorite things to do. But family is there, you know, going down and spending Christmas Eve with my family, getting to see them. And then Christmas morning, you know, Ron and I, we spend Christmas Day together, and we've created our new traditions of being able to be together and doing that, and it's so much fun. And I love Christmas. Christmas is just one of those absolute favorite times a year for me, to do things. And so that sort of goes to number 6, is what traditions do you have at Christmas? And those are some of the traditions. Christmas has always been one of those special things. I even remember when I was in college, you know, I had a small dorm room, and I would put lights around the whole dorm room. You could just see it from outside, just blinking and flashing and everything like that. So it has just always been something that's part of me, to be able to do that, for that. Another tradition of things is, you know, we collect Mickey Mouse stuff now. So I've been doing a Mickey Mouse tree. Oh my goodness. We started collecting Mickey Mouse things over 20 years ago, and slowly just add little pieces to it. And this year we put up a Mickey Mouse tree and a Mickey Mouse Snow Village and a Mickey Mouse everything. And it is so cool, to be able to see some of that. Let's see. Real or fake Christmas trees? Well, that's a tough one. Growing up, we had a few real trees, and I gotta say, to have a real tree is really cool because you get that smell of the tree in the house and stuff. But the pain is you have all those needles that are falling off everywhere, and you know, you brush up against it and everything, just all the needles fall off, and it gets so dry that you're scared that it can catch on fire. So there's some downfalls to that too. So for the most part now, we just always go with an artificial tree. Sometimes you think about maybe it would be nice to have one, but artificial to me is probably the way to go. Are you on the naughty or nice list? I'm always on the nice list, so that's me. I'm Mr. Nice. Do you start Christmas shopping on Black Friday, or do you wait until the last minute? Yeah, that's sort of a tough one. I sort of just do it in between a lot of times. I used to be a big person that would go out on Black Friday. When I was in high school, one of my friends and I, we would get up before the crack of dawn, and we would drive to the big city, and we would go shopping from the time the stores open till the time they closed almost. I mean, we would hit every single store in the city. We'd drive all around the city, and we would go for hours, and we really literally shopped until you dropped. I've done that with some of my family members. We've done a few times when we've gone out to go to some extent of Good Friday or the Black Friday shopping and stuff like that. But anymore, the crowds and stuff, it's just much easier to do it online. I start shopping sometimes a little bit before Black Friday. Sometimes I wait till the last minute. So it doesn't really have the same thing anymore for me. I just sort of do it when I find things. I will order it now. Name Santa's reindeer. Oh my goodness. Well, I gotta think of the song Rudolph, where you go, you know, Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen and Comet and Cubit and Connor and Blitzen. And the most famous one of them all, Rudolph. Did I get them all? I don't know. I think that's it. I think those are all the reindeers that there are. That's my list anyway of reindeer. The next one. What does your family put? When does the family put up the Christmas tree, and who decorates it? Well, if I go back to, again, when I was a child, my dad would put up the Christmas tree. So my mom would, have him go pick out the tree. And this is a lot of times when we had a live tree, he would put up the tree and then he would put all the lights on it. So it would take him forever to get all the lights on it. And he hated doing the lights and everything, but he would always get all the lights on it. Then my mom and I would put all the ornaments on the tree, and then put the tinsel and stuff on it and finish it up to do that. But it was sort of a conglomerate thing that we would all sort of do together, but we had different roles that we would play with it. Now it's Ron and I together. We put up our tree, and we pretty much put it up all at the same time. It may take us a little while to put it up sometimes, but we get it up, and we just do it together and just take our time, and we'll do a little bit here and there, and as it fills out, it fills in, and that's how we put our Christmas tree up. We don't do it usually all at one time. The next one, picking up, or do you like peeking at gifts or being surprised? Me, I love being surprised. I always want to not know what anybody's getting me until I get it. I want to feel that surprise of when I get the gift and try to maybe think about what it is inside when I'm opening it and stuff like that. That's just me. I've never been one that likes to peek at a gift or anything. I always like that anticipation of what it is. And it doesn't have to be a huge gift or anything. It's always the, what's the thought that goes into the gifts and stuff, I think is, what it is for me. And that surprise of just opening it up and seeing what somebody thought enough to get me. Have you ever gone Christmas caroling? Yeah, I did. As a kid, we would go Christmas caroling all the time, every year. With the church I was with, we would go, and we'd go around town. But I think probably the ones that I remember the time most is when we went to like a local nursing home, and we'd go caroling. And I just remember everybody there, just how grateful they were to see us as coming in there and doing the caroling and walking the hallways and just singing Christmas carols. That was amazing to me, and I loved it. And that's something I miss a little bit, because you don't really see that as much anymore, doing anything like that. But that was, to me, that was a great thing to be able to do, to be able to go Christmas caroling as a kid. Number 14, where do you usually spend the holidays? And I spend the holidays, again, I go down to the southern part of the state, where my family lives, and I spend Christmas Eve down there. And again, I do that Christmas dinner that we talked about that I make on Christmas Eve. And then I drive back on Christmas Eve, and, we have Christmas up here then. So Ron and I will spend Christmas Day together up here. We usually then go down on Christmas Eve and spend it in the small town that we're from. So it's a lot of fun, just those traditions that I have there. To be able to spend it with family and just to have us together, I think is just some of the greatest things with that, to be able to spend time. What is your favorite holiday decorations? Well, my favorite holiday decorations, again, I talked about the Mickey stuff. I think, that has just become something I've just, gathered over the years. There's some other things I've gathered over the years. I'm an I Love Lucy fan, and so I've gotten some ornaments of I Love Lucy over the years. That's also really cool. But I think some of the things of growing up, when I was a little kid, we had these little wooden ornaments, and you painted them. And I remember sitting down and painting them, and we would put those on the tree every year. And they're still down at my family's house in this little southern town. And I was looking through a bunch of the stuff a couple of years ago, and I came across them, and it was so cool to be able to see those again, and brought back so many memories of these decorations that I had. So that's probably some of my favorite decorations that I had growing up, was those. Thinking of some other things about Christmas, think about what might other things could be. What Christmas movies put you in the spirit for Christmas? It's a Wonderful Life is probably the greatest Christmas thing that I love to see every year. And that's probably one of my favorite movies that I have to see every year. Christmas Story, of course, is a classic one I got to see every year. Like White Christmas too. So those are some other things, just an extra bonus question that I threw out there. But anyway, hope you learned a little bit. I'm glad to share some of my experiences of what I think about Christmas and some of my favorite things that happens at Christmas time. I just want to take this time to wish every one of you a very, very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And looking forward to 2023 and to see where we all go. And thanks for joining me tonight. And hope you all have a great day. Bye.